Okay, welcome back, and here's the product package opened. You get the Duet unit itself, which is finished in this gorgeous sort of anodised aluminium. First thing I noticed when I opened the box was it was bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's hard to get a sense of the scale of this thing from pictures on the internet, but it's actually, you know, fits sort of inside my paw. Yeah, it's quite a sizable unit, and it's got these little rubber gel type feet on the bottom to cushion it. There it is. I'll show you a little close up in a minute. Walk around a bit, and you've got your Firewire connecting cable there, which is 1 metre long. You've got your user manual and your software app and drivers and everything. This is the cluster breakout cable that contains the 2 mic XLR sockets, 2 1/4" ins and 2 1/4" outs, yeah, and that connects by this multi-pin connector there to the multi-pin connector on the Duet. Okay, and then finally, which is quite interesting, inside the packet, inside the box, Apogee have added a couple of 1/4" jack to RCA phono adapter plugs, which is kind of useful. Obviously the reason is that a lot of this is designed to be used with a laptop as well as a desktop, and a lot of users, because Apogee are not just punting this at the studio user, they're also punting this at Mac desktop and laptop users who want a pristine quality desktop audio in-out device as well. So as a lot of home users use RCA connectors to connect up to their sound system, Apogee had the foresight to chuck in a couple of these adapters, which is nice, so the user can be guaranteed to be able to plug it in when they get home. You know, that's a clever thought, because it costs very little to put these 2 in, but it's a nice thought, you know, and keeps the consumer happy. Yeah? Well, there's your package. I must say the cluster breakout cable is very heavy. It's all the plugs, you know, you hold the thing in your hand, the whole cluster cable, and it's heavy. These things weigh a lot, you know, they feel very solid and robust, and everything like that. So that's what it looks like as a, you know, just showing you the basic package components. Let's zoom in and have a look at the Duet and the cluster cable in a bit of closer detail. There she is. As you can see, you've got an indicator lamp for both the input channels to independently show phantom power activity on input 1 and 2. You've got a proper 1/4" headphone connector. Okay, as you can see, it's finished in this gorgeous brushed aluminium, sort of anodised aluminium look. There's your multi-pin connector for the cluster breakout cable and the Firewire connector. Yeah. And if we look on the top, there we are. You've got this rotary alpha wheel here, which is like made of aluminium. That goes around, but this also functions as a button. Yeah. And you've got your input indicators and these 2 ladder meters, very fine little LEDs, and they function to show the in or the output depending how you have it configured. Yeah, it's very pretty, isn't it? Over here we've got the breakout cable. Okay, here's the two mic connectors. If I just move the Duet outside, what's interesting about this breakout cable is that the mic sockets, the output sockets and the input sockets are contained on their own sort of cluster, which is held together independently of each other, so they're not all just a bunch of dangling independent leads. And the output pair of sockets have got this purpley coloured wrap holding them together, whereas the two input sockets have got a white plastic wrap holding them together, so it's very easy at a glance to distinguish which is the pair of inputs and which is the pair of outputs. Let's just look at these XLRs. As you can see, they're very, you can't feel the weight of these, but they're very chunky, very well made, sort of Neutrik style, you know. And each of these inputs has got a input with an microphone symbol on it. There we are. And then the output 1/4 inch sockets, these are unbalanced. They are -10 dBV line output here. Out left and out right. And you can see that each one has got a little speaker icon. They're designed to feed your powered monitors or your amp, what have you. And then the two input 1/4 inch sockets, these are also unbalanced. You've got in one. Look. Oops, a bit of dirt on there. Should clean my bench. In one, and in two both have a little guitar symbol on here. So yeah, and the whole cluster thing is very, very robust. The firewire connector is a metre in length, you know, and there's the two little converter plugs that are included. Yeah, it's a very pretty object, I must say. If I just put the camera back on the stand a minute. And the Duet itself attaches to the cluster breakout cable with all the connectors. I'm using this socket here, which is like an RGB type socket. Just pushes in like that, and you just do up the two pins there. Just like connecting a screen to a computer. There you go, nice and firmly attached. So, there she is. Let's connect her up. I'll read all the books and everything about which order to do things, you know, because sometimes devices like to have the software and drivers installed before you connect and stuff like that, and then we'll have a look at it in action.